Greetings to everyone. My name is Tom Dwornicek, and I'm co-founder of BringingIsraelToAmerica.com with my twin brother Tim. What BITA, as we affectionately call it, is all about is it's a spiritually based program to help people become aware of some changes they want to make in their life. We are focused on Jesus' true message and the Jewish message about bringing heaven on earth and to end the separation that we feel between us and others, whether it's countries, races, religions. So it's all about the reconnecting and not the separation. And even the separation within ourselves, the battling that we have inside of us, which is what this presentation is going to discuss. I like to call it something simple, using shamanic journeying to transform our life's patterns. What we understand about people is habits tend to be running all the time. If you always do what you always did, you're always going to get the same life you always got. And that is so true. How do I know this? Well, first off, I've been a practicing psychotherapist since 1981. And I've been a shamanic practitioner for almost 20 years. And let me talk a little bit about talking therapy, but I first want to address the different brain waves. There's 5 brain waves we can be in. Gamma is when you're in the zone where everything is lined up. You're on all 6 cylinders. Everything's working. And you hear sports people talking about it. I was in the zone. That's the highest brain wave. After that is beta, and beta is being where I'm at right now, fully awake, fully alert, focused on something, but it's not the gamma, but it's close to that. And then it drops down to alpha, where you're still awake, but you may be more in daydreamy type of consciousness. After that is theta. Now theta brain waves are where we go when we truly meditate or do shamanic work, which I'll explain in a little bit. And then delta brain waves is when we go sleepy time and we're sleeping and dreaming and that. So it's the deep, quiet brain waves. Most talking therapy has become, in my estimation, fairly ineffective to help us heal issues that happen to us very early in life. Talking therapy is beta. The client comes in and they're fully awake, fully conscious and that. And if they're talking about things that happened early in their childhood, all we can do is talk about it, but you're not going to change it. And I'll be explaining why that is. One of my favorite teachers has been Dr. Bruce Lipton, who is a developmental biologist. He's written several books. 2 of my favorites are The Biology of Belief and The Honeymoon Effect, Creating Heaven on Earth. And Lipton has made a statement that I totally concur with. 95% of our choices are done unconsciously. That's the program, the computer program that's running us. And not that we're computers, but we're kind of like computers. So 95% of the time, when we're making choices, it's not done consciously, it's done unconsciously. Here's where the problem stems from. Pre-age of reason, which is the age of 7.5 approximately. So from the day you're born till around 7.5, that's the pre-age of reason. What Dr. Lipton talks about is a child is in a theta trance-like state. So whatever they're told about themselves, they're told about the world, they're told about God, they're told about religion, they're told about other races, all of that goes into their little mind computers. And then that's what starts running their life as they get older. Now, do they know it's in there? No. Do they remember what they experienced? No. Most people do not have that awareness inside of them. But it's there. And how do I know it's there? Because you can look at their behavior in their life and see, you don't believe what you just said. For instance, so many clients, I'll say, well, do you like yourself? Almost always they say yes. Then I start looking at their behavior. It's not true. They're way overweight. They get victimized all the time. They don't take care of themselves. They're not living the kind of life that says to me, I like myself or I love myself. The problem is that these belief patterns that are put into us in a theta-like state continue to repeat over and over and over in life. A better way to understand this is something that I learned when I study the Kabbalah, which is part of Judaism: fractals, fractal reality, and fractal geometry. The basic tenet in this says that there is an initial formula that continues to repeat over and over. That's why nothing changes if nothing changes, because if you don't change the formula, let's say in this case our belief systems, let's say I'm raised to believe I'm worthless, I'm not going to amount to much. That program is now unconscious because I was told that as a little one. And you know, parents I don't think maliciously set out to do this, and it was probably done to them, so they're just handing it down. So that person's life in their 20s and 30s and 40s, etc., is going to be manifesting that unconscious belief that you're not worth it, you're not going to amount to much, and they don't. Okay? What I'm going to introduce to you today is a modality, a spiritual modality. This is not psychotherapy. Beta is about spiritual programs that help create heaven on earth. We know about hypnosis, eye movement therapy, age regression therapy. These are psychotherapeutic techniques that help the client get into a theta brainwave to deal with theta issues. What I'm proposing today, a new discovery that my brother and I have been talking about for quite a while, is how do we really help people make the changes they want to make. We've both been listening to people's life stories for 30 plus years. When you do a shamanic journey, and shamanism is the oldest known spiritual practice that's been around, older than all of them, so it's got some time in, and anything that has lasted that long tells me there was something of value, which is what got me into it. So when I do a shamanic journey, I'm using drumming or some kind of percussion sound to slow the brainwaves down to a theta state. That's the meditative state. And then I go off and I do my journey. If you work on 1 or 2 or 3 beliefs, core beliefs that my brother and I can help you identify, and then heal those, fractally speaking, the pattern that your life is going in will start to go in a different direction. Guaranteed. And I'll use a personal example here in a little bit. So we use a healing journey. That's the intention. I'm asking for a healing journey for X to work on this issue, and then I go to the lower world or upper world, which is in shamanism the 2 worlds we journey in, and something magical will happen that can help us transform our core beliefs or our core perceptions. Guys, I got very frustrated as a psychotherapist. I started studying a lot of spiritual programs that seemed to work against psychotherapy, but as I continued my research, and then when Dr. Lipton showed up in my life, it's like all the lights went on, and my brother Tim and I have been talking about this. How can we use this? So when you do that healing journey, you can change a belief forever. Now I'll give you an example of something. I'm 63 years old. In all of my adult life, when I would make a mistake, doesn't matter how big or small it was, I would either want to run and hide or I'd want to go invisible. Now, consciously, from my work in therapy, I knew that came from my dad's perfectionistic attitude. It was never safe to make a mistake around my dad. My dad's been gone a long time, and I'm still acting like this. So my intention for the journey was simply to do a healing on this. And in the journey, I was on a beach, and I was enjoying myself, and all of a sudden, I see this guy coming toward me, and it was my 30-year-old dad. So when the wounding happened, probably when we were young. And in the journey, he was very playful, he was very loving, and we were able to change something inside of us by me having that experience. And guys, my dad's been dead for 15 years, so it had nothing to do with anything with him. That's why this is so wonderful. If your parents are already deceased, it doesn't matter. You can still do this healing work. Since I've done this journey, I've been tracking it because I have made mistakes and I'm going to continue to make mistakes. And I made some small ones and I made a couple major blunders. My response now is totally different. I laugh. Excuse me. I just break out laughing like I'm a knucklehead. I'm sorry. I don't have that need to want to run and hide or go invisible anymore. So how that worked to me is I was in a theta brainwave doing a shamanic journey dealing with theta issues. What I believe is most of our problems in life as adults, you can go back to that first 7.5 years of life and find out what those teachings were, what those beliefs were, what those experiences were that continue to iterate and repeat over and over again. That's why we're calling this transforming our life patterns, and it works and it's permanent. A friend of mine, Nick, and I were talking recently, and I was telling him about this model and how it can help people. And he brought up his fear of heights, and he said, Tom, I don't know where that came from. I can't remember anything. Well, as I pressed on with him, it turns out his dad was terrified of heights. So when his dad would have to go up the ladder when Nick was young, Nick's holding the ladder, his dad was terrified of being up there cleaning the gutters or working on the roof. Somehow that fear got transmitted into Nick's unconscious at a very young age, and now he's stuck with it. Why is that a problem for Nick? Well, it prevents him from acting freely in life. Let's say Nick wanted to be an iron worker or a pilot, but he's terrified of heights, or even want to go up to Mount Everest and just scale the top. Because of his fear of heights, that through nothing that he did in life, he is now prevented from being who he wants to be in the world. So what I would suggest, and there's a lot more to this, but I just wanted to do a short video on this, is go to bringingisraeltoamerica.com. We're in Northwest Indiana, Munster, Indiana, and find out when we're going to be doing another shamanic workshop, or just send us a message you're interested in this. And then it's a one-day workshop for $40, and we teach you how to do shamanic journeying, all about the shamanic world, the spiritual realm. You can gain experience in journeying. We'll be having some groups teaching this so people can come in, because this is a disciplined practice. And what I found, wherever this comes from, a lot of people don't have the discipline. When I learned shamanism, I was journeying like 3 or 4 times a week, sometimes more, because I really saw the value in this. So you could come, you can learn how to journey, and then when you're ready to do the deep work, you can contact my brother or myself, and we can help you identify some core belief issues that have been in your life, your entire life as you know it, as you look at it. Okay, the goal of this is empowering you to be your own self-healer. Let's quit giving our power away to all the authority figures. And these are my brethren, you know, the psychotherapists, the psychiatrists, and that. This is something you can learn to do for yourself to heal yourself. You quit giving your power away, and then you can return to who you really are meant to be in the world. As I said, part of Baida's goal is to bring heaven on earth and end the separation. And it's not just between us and others or nations and that. It's the separation we have on the inside. We believe, from a Kabbalah standpoint, that your soul came into your body and it has a mission. Well, like my friend Nick, let's say his mission is to be an airline pilot and be a really good pilot. But he's got this battle going on inside, but I can't go up there, I'm afraid of heights. So what his soul's true purpose is here to do will never be manifested because of this fear of heights. Well, if he would journey, heal that, then he's free to do what he's meant to do. Again, this is not psychotherapy. I still believe in psychotherapy, but more theta related, like hypnosis or eye movement therapy, which I've been trained in to do, and does make some marvelous changes. But there, you're always going to an authority figure. Once you learn how to journey and do it effectively and gain the confidence you need, we may be able to help you identify some core beliefs or some perceptions or experiences that happen to you in that precognitive stage of your life. You can do a healing, and then this life course that you're going down will begin to go in a different direction. I love making mistakes now. I don't feel that panic that I used to, like, oh God, I got to run and hide as a 63-year-old man. That's ludicrous, right? So I would hide that, and I've done some other journeys which I won't bore you with at this time. Just some issues that I know have always been there. And guys, again, I've been doing healing work on myself since my early 20s. This stuff works. It makes the permanent changes, and your life will begin to be the life that you deserve to live, the life you were born to live. So if you're interested, please contact our website, and we will be glad to talk to you about this and help you transform the life patterns that prevent us from living the life God wanted us to live and create heaven on earth. Namaste.